Hi, this unit plan has been created with backward design using integrated performance tasks in 3 modes of communication as the framework of instruction, as well as the final tools of summative assessments. My unit is geared toward my 3rd grade Chinese dual immersion students whose language proficiency level is between novice high and intermediate low. And my overarching theme is called Exploring Time and Place, and I name it Tour in Taiwan. The essential questions is, how does geography affect communities? I plan to use about 240 minutes a week and maybe a duration of a month to complete this unit. The standards this unit addresses are listed right here. It's addressing the California World Language Standards, the World Readiness Standards, the CCSS College and Career Readiness Anchor Standards, and also the 21st Century Skills. The IPA overview for my students is as follows. In this unit, you will learn how to communicate about interesting place to visit. First, you will read and view information about visiting Taiwan. Then, you will discuss this information with partners and groups in lots of different ways. Finally, you will use what you have learned from reading, viewing, and exchanged information gained from your interactions about how to describe a specific place using its culture, geography, and leisure activities to create your own video to introduce a special place to visit in Taiwan to potential tourists. So in this real-world context, there are 3 summative assessment goals that my students must achieve and be evaluated with. The first is this first summative interpretive assessment is that the students should be able to view tourist video and list cultural experience visiting Taiwan will bring. They will read tourist websites and determine a route which they will choose to do a little more further research and create all the rest of the information. They will list some of the places for a week's visit, list some of the food that a tourist must try, describe their possible activities when visiting, and also they will do some comparison between visiting California and Taiwan. And there's some other extensions that students could do, including researching the possible costs for a 1-week trip in Taiwan, finding out airfare costs and luggage allowance, finding out local transportations and the possible accommodations and their cost difference. In the interpersonal tasks, in the summative interpersonal task, the students are evaluated on their ability to discuss their selected sites with others, being able to both answer questions and ask questions to find out more information about each other's attractions. They also will be working in a team, list some of the possible activities a tourist could do while visiting. Then they would involve in the role play, being travel agent and tourists to each other, and they will conduct questions and answering each other's questions about the attractions. They also will compare the similarities and differences of their selected places with their partners. And finally, in the summative presentational assessment, the students will have to create a video project introducing a tourist site using target language. They will describe the activities that the tourists could do and describe the places using simple adjectives and phrases. Students also will have to produce a travel brochure to provide the following information for a tourist: some photos of the major attractions with some details, leisure activities to do, suggested items to pack based on the local climate, and offering some travel tips and cultural tidbits. In the toolbox section of the lesson plan, all the language functions and related structures and patterns and vocabularies with different tiers are listed right here to help the students conduct in their conversation. And all the key learning activities and formative assessments along the way are listed here as well. And finally, there are resources available for all my researched authentic materials are all listed here, including my Google form as a study guide. Next, let me briefly talk to you about how I will start this unit lesson. I have listed lesson 1 and lesson 2 of this unit in my Google Sites. So if you want detailed information, you could go there and find some more information. But I will just briefly describe to you how I will start my lesson. In day 1, I will use the anticipatory activity, have the students share about their personal trips to start my lesson and have them engage in some conversation. In fact, I could actually use some of the images that I created here to spark students' interest, including a map of Asia and Taiwan, the Taiwan's night market, and also the food, a picture of the food, and a picture of Taiwan, the aerial view of Taiwan, to spark my initial conversation. And after that, I will lead the students to the Google form that I have created, and this will be the first video that they will engage in interpreting. When they listen to the video or watch the video, they will follow this printed guide and answer some of the questions. And there are some examples of it. So they will have a chance to interact with the material and have their initial understanding of this authentic material. They will also engage in conversation with their partners to exchange ideas and negotiate meanings. And after that, they will have a chance to actually watch 2 of the videos that I have created to actually serve as a model for their final presentational task. And these 2 videos are videos that actually introduce them to 2 places, and one is Lake Tahoe and the other one is Crystal Lake. And so these 2 videos individually will give them a chance to see how the final presentation, the video that they are supposed to record of themselves, should look like. As you can see, this unit is designed using the principle of high leverage core practices to ensure culturally relevant, comprehensible, authentic texts are selected to provide my students the opportunity to demonstrate their ability to interpret and understand what they read, view, and listen to. And they will engage in many ways of collaborative talk and interact with teachers through interpersonal communication. Teacher will facilitate the classroom discourse and provide corrective feedbacks and scaffold in the dialogic context. And furthermore, students will explore cultural products, cultural practices, and perspectives, and engage in role-playing as part of the formative assessments. Focus on form will also be in the context of learning using PACE model with the highly engaging stories called Feng Cha, an offering of tea. So all these core practices are carefully implemented to ensure that throughout the unit, my students will be provided with multiple support and practices so that they will be successfully perform the presentational tasks. And so this in a nutshell is my unit plan, and I hope you enjoyed it.